Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I hope you guys are all in good health as I speak right now today on a Saturday. I'm doing this video because basically I'm going to address some things on my mind, and I'm basically addressing and dedicating this video basically to address, again, sound like a broken record already, the entire, and I mean the entire YouTube community that knows me and gaming community on the Xbox side that knows me. Okay, you know, after certain things that just occurred as of late or recently with me, I I didn't realize. Okay, I didn't realize how certain events that happen around you can misconstrue something in a certain way where you get labeled, basically. And I'm the type of person, I'm a grown man, I'm 41 years old, you can see all this white hair here. I'm not a child, I'm not a kid. If I have a problem with somebody, or a person has a problem with me, I want you to address me and be honest. But I realize, with these events going on currently, that I have a feeling that because people have seen me uh, with the outcome that happened on Next Gen's podcast, shout outs to him for, inviting me, that people have this idea that because I do not need to quiet myself, I know how to combat an issue, whether it's aggressively, whether it's intelligently, whether it's passively, that, you know, uh, I might be of a confrontational person. And I'm not confrontational at all. I'm further from that. And anybody that really has taken the opportunity to really get to know me instead of thinking they know me from the outside in and took the time to actually say, hey, what's up, Chris? What's going on Xbox Live or on a conversation on the phone, would know and realize that I'm a nice guy. I'm very sensible. Now, I also realize with some of these early current events that if I challenge somebody by saying something that is absolutely true about what's going on with gaming, where gaming has lost its way in many ways, because it has. Gaming now more is about things like, open world games, free to plays, uh, you know, just competition in itself all the time, or being movies, like I alluded before many other times, instead of actual gameplay and games. That people don't like that. They don't want to hear that. But I mean, that's the point of it. If you don't have the will to speak about it and be truthful and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Gaming used to be about picking up games in these wonderful, fantastic worlds, playing a character that looked cool and that you could escape and play different types of gameplay mechanics and have fun with these games with actual control prompts and commands. And, it's funny because every time that I challenge someone, or not challenge, because I'm saying challenge because that's probably the best way to put it. Because I'm not trying to say I'm trying to piss people off or trigger people, because that sounds really uneducational or uneducated, if I will. Uh, I expect a rebuttal back, but in a respectful way. Not that they address me as I'm a fanboy, or not that they address me as I'm just a guest, when everybody knows that I go by the name of Hebot. And I'm very respectful of everybody. I never say to anybody, "Oh yeah, so Joe Blow or Joe Schmo." Um, Listen, um, my name is Hebot, and if you don't know it, I'm letting you guys know with this message. That's what I go for and go by and as on Xbox, on YouTube, and it's nice to be addressed by my characteristic name. My real name is Christopher. because I'm not afraid of saying what my real name is. But the point is that I got this idea, I got an impression, I got an idea, and all fingers are pointing that maybe, perhaps some of you guys out there on YouTube that want to rock out with me or want to invite me to your podcast or even to game with you are kind of hesitant or maybe thinking that it's a waste of your time or that I'm this rude and crude person with no education whatsoever and not know how to speak without being disrespectful. And, that really opened up my eyes after some current events that happened with me. And if you guys follow me, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't need to mention names because this is not a video to try to generate any controversy or specifically picking a specific person, trying to start with them. If anybody hears this, if it applies to you, you'll know who I'm talking about, or who I'm referencing to, or what I'm referencing about. It's that simple. I don't have to name names. You'll know by just looking at the video and be like, oh, okay, I know what he's talking about. Because guilty conscience has no accuser. I don't have to, point out anybody. You know who you are, or who it may be, or what situation I may be talking about. And it's a shame because if you don't know someone, how are you going to automatically assume, oh, this person, you can't rock out with that person because all they do is fight and argue. And the funny thing is, and every time that I've had a confrontation thus far to this point, it's been because someone's gotten personal with me, whether it's on social media or on a YouTube podcast. It's been because they called me a name, attacked my wife, my kids, said something about my appearance, you know, said something stupid or obnoxious or rude or cursed at me or called me a fanboy or say things like, or not address me by my name because they're upset or they're triggered some way, somehow, or upset in some way, somehow because they're too sensitive and don't really know how to conversate gaming without being upset and feeling some kind of way. And that's my point. I don't understand how you can say something about someone that you don't know, that you never talk to on a daily, more personal, to actually give them the time to get to know them. Okay? And I have a feeling this is the reason why I've never been invited to certain things or back to other certain things because of this misconstrued concept of me, Hebot, in YouTube that I'm a troublemaker or that I'm confrontational. Again, like I said, I'm very assertive when I do what I do. I don't have to hold my tongue. I say what I feel and I feel what I say. Now, also don't assume because I say something that I can't explain myself, because I can explain myself very well. But if I'm not given the opportunity to explain myself for any given situation, then don't assume that, oh, he don't know what he's talking about because I didn't get to explain myself. Because I can be very in depth and detail with everything I say and what I say, and why I said it. And it's a shame. So again, the point is this: anyone out there that rocks out with me, that likes my content, that appreciates what I am and who I am, and what I'm trying to bring to the community as a gamer, and as an Xbox fan, and as a YouTuber, in general. Okay, just be honest with me. Be truthful. If you think I'm a hypocrite, or you think that I'm crazy, or if you think I'm not really that I'm a fanboy, which I don't understand. Somebody calls somebody a fanboy when I own every console that's out to this point and beyond that, from back in the day. I have almost 2,000 physical games, okay? And I've said this time and time again, and I can prove it because I have it in my house. I can do a video and just show it. It's not a big fucking deal. I've done it before in other videos, but the fact that people don't pay attention to my channel and don't see my videos, you don't know this, okay? I'm not a fanboy. And it's not that I'm saying that there's nothing good to offer in no other console. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, this is good, when it's a sack of bullshit, when they're calling it out on the other console of my choice, like an Xbox, like saying something is garbage on Xbox when it's actually real gameplay with the mixture of other techniques, okay, and technology, but it's actual gameplay in the game, doing things that's never been done before, compared to something that feels generic and been done many of times, and it's just copying and pasting what everybody else been doing, just at a higher quality because of the higher caliber and capacity and capabilities of these new consoles. Okay, so not to go off and keep ranting for another 25 minutes. If all of you that want to rock out with me, please don't hesitate. You can approach me anytime and talk to me at any point. You don't. I'm not a rude person. I'm easygoing. I'm very very polite. I'm very well spoken for the most part on most occasions. And you don't have to feel like that. Hey, maybe if I want to invite you on, that I got to be careful because this guy just goes on a tangent and he won't care. He'll just keep speaking out loud and disrespecting people. Because even when I was on this gen thing, I told this gen, I apologize. I'm not trying to get rude on your podcast. I know this is your podcast, but I'm just trying to rebuttal the disrespect that's going on with the young kid Alex. When in reality, he was just being a troll because he thought it was funny. So I played along with this dumb shit. Okay? I'm not saying that he's a bad person, he's a bad kid. He still got personal. He still said things that if he was been in front of me in real life, he probably more than likely would have got smacked the fucking grill right out of his face. Okay? And I'm just being honest. Now, am I saying that as a threat? No. So whoever watches this, don't misconstrue it and change it around and make it seem like it's something else that it's not. Because that's not what I'm saying at all. Because like I told Alex even before, when we had that discussion, I mean, you seem like a nice person, but if you're trolling, you're not going to get your respect by being that way. Okay? So again, for all you those that rock out with me, that haven't rocked out with me, and maybe you want to and are hesitant, I'm telling you with this message, please feel free. I'm not a monster. I'm not what people may think I am, and I'm not disrespectful. I'm very intelligent in gaming, and I do like to speak about topics that are challenging to people, that people don't want to hear, or maybe gamers don't want to address. But if that's the case, then don't invite me to talk about it in the first place, because then you don't really want to talk gaming. You want me to just be praising a company or a console that doesn't deserve it, and it's not going to get it from me. I'm going to speak the good, the bad, and the ugly from all sides and all points on all given consoles. That's just the way I am. I just feel that my preferred console has done the most by their gamers for the most part, and if they've done wrong, they've tried to fix it immediately with no hesitation, respecting their customers. So I'm not going to badmouth them because at least they tried to fix it. If they didn't do anything, that's a different story, but they haven't done that. And that's just me thinking and reacting and rationalizing as an adult. So, for all you those that do know me, that rock out with me and call yourselves my friends, if you really feel a certain way about me or differently behind my back, please feel free not to bother with me ever again. Feel free to unsubscribe to my channel. Feel free that if you're on, perhaps maybe on my friends list, which I don't think anybody on my friends list is like that, but if you're on my friends list and you don't want to bother with me after this message, then you know what? Feel free and unfriend me. That's perfectly fine. No bad blood. I don't hold no grudges. I'd rather have friends that are going to be sincere and honest with me 100%, that are going to be just 100% with me when they're in front of me or they talk to me, and behind my back they have a different outlook and perception and perspective of me and who I am. And I'm keeping it 100. That's why I'm making this video viral or live so that everyone can see it. I don't have to hide and hold my tongue. That's not who I am. I'm the real deal. And anybody that thinks otherwise, I'll challenge you. And you're welcome to challenge me. I grew up with Atari, the arcades, Master System, NES, Odyssey, ColecoVision, and television. I grew up from when it all started. I'm a gamer. And if you trying to tell me that because you feel a certain way about something, that my knowledge of gaming means that I'm stupid, I don't know anything about gaming, then you're welcome to challenge me anytime you want. Because I, without a shadow of a doubt, 100% think otherwise. My gaming prowess and knowledge cannot be projected or cannot be dis- have defined with a definition with something like achievements. No, because the achievements back would have started back in the Atari era in the arcades, and there's no way in hell you can keep track of all that. I've beaten thousands of games in my lifetime. Thousands. I've played thousands of games in my lifetime, if not probably more. Or you know what I'm saying. In the thousands, definitely. Uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know what else to say. It really hurts me. It's really disappointing to think that people have stayed away from me because of perhaps thinking that I'm, too aggressive. Because again, I'm further from that. And if you took the time to actually make a friendship with me on an honest level, where you talk to me and you really actually spend time generating some type of relationship with me, you would have realized, hey, listen, Hebot is not a bad person. I've been doing things for a lot of people in this community, and I don't say it, I don't talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it briefly, just to set an example of what I'm saying. And they know who they are. I've done things for them. I bought things for them. I tried to look out for them. I tried to buy them things. Why? Because that's what it's supposed to be about the community. That's what the word community means. It means getting together and being close. It doesn't mean saying, yeah, we're in a community, and then behind your back, people look at you like you're a bum or a scrub or a herb, okay? Saying dumb, things about you or inappropriate things about you, like, like it's okay, when it's not. Because real men don't talk behind people's back. You say it in their face, you speak what you feel, and that's it. So again, I'm going to end this. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. And like I said earlier, if it doesn't apply to you in any way, shape, or form, then don't let it bother you. But if it does bother you, then obviously maybe you have to evaluate something with your conscience, because maybe you did something wrong or feel some type of way. I'm very easy to access. You know my channel? Yeah, you know where I am on Xbox or on Twitter. Just say, hey, listen, I gotta discuss something with you, and you let me know. And I needed to take this out of my chest in my head because it really mind boggled me. I was in shock that that this is perhaps maybe uh, the reason why people, or the reasoning why people don't really associate with my channel, with me, and stay away from me. Like if I could just start conflict or console warring, because you can console war in good fun. It's been around forever, but it's a shame that in a community where there's so many adults, because most of us are all grown men, okay, or so-called grown men, that you would indirectly say things about or think about something or about a person that you have no idea who they are because you never took the time out to get to know them. But yet you assume, or assumed, plural for more than one, that because of other behavioral moments that you see me be part of, that's who I am. So if somebody says to you, your mother sucked cock, for example, and excuse my language, you're not going to get upset and have something to say at least to somebody, or that you're a bitch or you're a punk or whatever. Even though those are all dumb juvenile things and words that don't really hurt, they don't really mean nothing. They're insignificant. That don't mean anything. But in a live conversation, and somebody says you're a fanboy, or somebody calls you uh, by another name and address you like a Joe Schmo, instead of saying, hey, listen, Hebot, listen, this is what's up, and act like you're a nobody or they're in a higher pedestal than you, and it's not supposed to bother you. You're not supposed to have something to say or something to, talk back. I don't think so. That's not the way I grew up. I'm old school. When I had a problem with somebody, I said what I had to say, and we talked it out. You had a problem? We had a fight. We fight it out. After that, get over it. Move on. Because that's what men do. So again, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to let this out and say this to the community, the entire YouTube community that knows me and knows of me. So if it applies to you, you know who you are, and if it doesn't apply to you, then don't worry about it. You're good. Don't get it triggered. Don't get upset. Don't take it offensive. Don't get sensitive about it. Because obviously, if you have nothing to worry about, or you don't have no guilty conscience that maybe is about you, then you wouldn't have to say anything. It's that simple. Keep it gaming, guys, and please, let's not try to be sensitive about stuff. We're men. I thought we're gamers. We need to talk about the subject. Let's just talk about it. Not offend each other by calling each other names. Be good, guys. Thanks.